Praise to the Most High God, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Peace to everyone that's here today in the name of Jesus. Peace to everyone that's watching us on the phone line. Listening on the phone line. And watching us live on the internet. And as always, it's good to stand before you on the Lord's Sabbath. We're going to get through this lesson because, I woke up with a frog in my throat, so we're going to deal with this. Y'all got to bear with me.
Take your time, bro.
And like always, as we do, we deal with lessons by subject and title. And today we're gonna deal with this lesson, because we got it right out of the Bible. And there are a lot of things going on in the world, especially down in Orlando and, this England dropping out of the EU. And, well, that's nothing new, because England left the Roman Empire a long time ago, and now they was part of it, now they left them again, so it's nothing new. But the title of the lesson is As It Was in the Days of Noah and Lot. Because when we get into this lesson, you're going to see when the Lord comes back to take this world over, it's going to be business as usual for the world because they're not expecting this. Okay? And it's going to be a big shock to them to where they're going to want to commit suicide. And after all these stuff started happening, they still don't want to repent. And that's the whole thing the Lord is trying to do, is get us to repent. So we're going to deal with this lesson, as it was in the days of Noah and Lot. So we're going to cover Noah, and then we're going to cover Lot, the things that were going on before the Lord brought destruction on them. So let's pick it up in Luke 17. We got a few references so we can really understand what some of these definitions mean when we read the Bible. So let's go to Luke 17. I was listening to this radio station, like I always do. And they tried to downplay what happened down there in Florida, talking about it was a terrorist act. It was a wicked man did some wicked things. And that wasn't God's judgment. And I'm like, wait a minute now. Every time somebody dies, it's the judgment from God. Because the wages of sin is death. So he would take a wicked man to kill some wicked people. He'd take a good man and kill some wicked people. And he'd take a wicked man and kill some good people too. But it's all coming from God. It's his judgment. So whenever somebody dies, the Lord knows about it because he did it. So you can't downplay what happened. It is what it is, and that's what happened. A bunch of sodomites got killed.
By another sodomite.
By another sodomite. So,
right.
But let's look at this. Go to Luke 17, and we're going to read a little bit. My voice going to start warming up. It won't be as scratchy. But Luke 17 and verse 26. Go ahead.
As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man.
So as it was in the days of Noah, so it should be also in the days of the Son of Man. What's going to happen? Go ahead.
They did eat.
They was eating. What else?
They drank.
Drinking.
They married wives.
Everybody was getting married. What else?
They were given in marriage.
Everybody was given in marriage until what?
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all.
So it was business as usual until the flood came and destroyed everybody on this earth. They didn't even think about it. They didn't think some destruction was coming. And we know the destruction is coming because we can read it in the book. The script is already written. We know what's going to happen in the end time. But let's look at this. Go to 2 Peter. Peter told you the same thing. It's business as usual for the world. And watch what happens when them skies roll back. It's too late. You should have got yourself together when you had the time. 2 Peter chapter 4. 2, I'm sorry. 2 Peter 2. And pick it up at verse 4. Okay, read.
For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down into hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
So the Lord didn't even, when the angels acted a fool, he cast them down into hell and delivered them to chains of darkness, and spared not the old world, but what? Saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher. Whoever heard of Noah was a preacher. That's what the book said. He was a preacher of righteousness. Bringing the flood upon the world of the ungodly. Let's go look at it. Go to Genesis 6. So something had to be going on, even though the Lord don't tell you the specifics of the wickedness that was going on. It had gotten so bad that he had to kill everybody, except for 8 people. And let's look at it. Genesis 6. So these are the days of Noah. Let's see what they was doing. Genesis 6, we're going to pick it up at verse 5. Genesis 6 and 5, read it.
And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth.
So God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. Go ahead.
And that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
And everything he was thinking was evil. Nothing good. It was all evil continually. He woke up thinking evil. Went to bed thinking about what he's going to do evil tomorrow. Continually, wickedness. Go ahead.
6. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air. For it repenteth me that I have made them.
So the Lord said, look, I'm sorry I made this man, because he is just wicked and evil. I got to kill him. Because if I don't, he's going to destroy the world. I got to get rid of this man. I'm sorry I made him. This is what we read. We finished that?
Yeah.
Go to Genesis 7. So he said, the Lord said he's going to kill you, he's going to kill you. And he did. Genesis 7, verse 11, go ahead.
In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights.
So now the windows of heaven opened, and it was rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. That's a lot of rain. I mean, it can rain 40 days and 40 nights, but it ain't going to flood the earth. The Lord had to really open up them heavens and drop some rain down, and everything came up from the deep too, because the water's just dry land sitting in the earth. And he drowned everything except for Noah and his wife, his 3 sons and their wives. Go ahead.
13. In the self same day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wives, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark.
So they went into the ark. So you know it was a little light rain. People thought Noah was crazy anyway. So it started raining. They went into the ark. The Lord shut them in. And you can imagine the people all around, didn't think nothing of it. Probably still partying in the rain. And all of a sudden the rain didn't stop. And then it started coming up from the ground. And it started raining harder and harder and harder. Till everything got swept away. Everything got drowned. Go ahead.
They, and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut them in. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth. And the waters prevailed and increased greatly upon the earth. And the ark went up upon the face of the waters.
Keep reading.
And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole earth were covered.
So all the hills was covered. This is a lot of rain, brothers and sisters. A lot of water to cover the hills. So you know ain't nothing going to survive that. You can't tread water for that long. And birds can't fly that long either because they get tired. Go ahead.
20. 15 cubits upward, that the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle and of beasts and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man.
So just in case you wanted to climb to the hills to get away from it, the Lord makes sure the water covered the mountains 15 cubits up. to make sure that you didn't make it. Go ahead.
22. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life of all that was in the dry land died.
So everybody that was breathing, all whose nostrils was the breath of life of all that was in the dry land died. Go ahead.
And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping thing, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were in with him in the ark.
So every creeping thing, man, cattle, because man was given dominion over the Lord's hands, the creatures of the sea, the fowls of the air. And if the man that's in charge is messing up, then he's going to get everything else in trouble. So the animals had to suffer because of man's wickedness. And the Lord didn't, getting really specific about what man was doing, but it had to be something that he had to kill him. Man was really wicked. Verse 24, read that.
And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days.
So the waters prevailed 150 days. Flip over to Genesis 8. As it was in the days of Noah, they was partying, having a good time, and then the flood came, wiped them out. Genesis 8 and verse 1, go ahead.
And God remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep, and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat.
So amongst all that turmoil, the Lord still remembered his righteous people. Just like servants of God were living within this wicked world. The Lord still got his eyes on you. You just got to keep doing what you're doing, because you know what's going to happen. Don't take matters into your own hands. Let some foolish person do that. The Lord will use them. But go ahead, verse 5.
And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen.
Okay, so the 10th month, first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains seen. The waters were receding. Till finally there was dry land there, and Noah got real happy. He built an altar and he sacrificed to the Lord. Skip down to verse 20 and read it.
And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on an altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet savor. And the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake.
So the Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground. For whose sake? Man's sake. He won't do this ever again. Even though man is wicked, he is not going to drown everybody again. Why? Go ahead.
For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth.
For the imagination of man's heart is evil from when? From his youth. It's a shame we have to teach kids how to be right, how to do right, because the world is wicked. Evil from his youth. Go ahead.
Neither will I again smite any more every living thing as I have done.
So he won't kill every living thing as he have done. The Lord made that promise to himself and mankind. Now let's look at this definition of wicked, because we didn't get into no intricacies of what they was doing, but it was, you can just imagine. And they was doing it. That's why the Lord killed everybody. Let's look at wicked. What's the definition of wicked?
Merriam-Webster's definition of wicked is morally very bad.
Morally very bad. What else?
Evil.
Evil. Man's thoughts of what? Evil continually from his youth. Wicked. You can go in Ezekiel chapter 18 and to tell you what a wicked person is. Somebody that's not keeping the law. That's the bottom line. It has nothing to do how many you kill a bunch of people, yeah, you wicked. Molest a lot of kids, yeah, you wicked. You steal, you wicked. Breaking the Sabbath, wicked. Something as small as that, which is not small in the eyes of the Lord. But just going to church on Sunday, you breaking the Sabbath, you wicked. I don't care how much time you spend in church all day. It's all for nothing. In the Lord's eyesight, you are wicked. Let's get back to the book. Job 14. Job chapter 14. We're going to pick it up at verse 1. 14 and 1. Okay, read.
Man that is born of a woman is of a few days and full of trouble.
So man that is born of a woman, I hope you born from a woman, man. You never know what the world is doing now. But man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. Why? Because his thoughts are evil continually from his youth. That's why he in trouble all the time. Wicked thoughts. Go ahead.
He cometh forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleeteth also as a shadow and continueth not. And dost thou open thine eyes upon such a one, and bringest me into judgment with thee? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? Not one.
That's right. Go ahead.
Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
So man's days are determined. Only problem is you don't know when you're going to die. The Lord knows. You just don't know. That's why you got to have your garments white at all times. Go ahead.
Turn from him that he may rest, till he shall accomplish an hireling his day. For there is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that tender branch thereof will not cease.
So you can cut a tree down. It'll grow back as long as you don't get the roots. But chop the tree down. Give about 30, 40 years, it'll be back up there tall again. Go ahead.
Though the root thereof wax old in the earth, and the stock thereof die in the ground, yet through the scent of water it will bud, and bring forth boughs like a plant. But man dieth, and wasteth away, yea, man giveth up the ghost, and where is he?
So when man dies, it's over. You rot, decay, worms get you. Unless you got one of them fancy caskets, you know. We don't nothing to get inside of it. But even then, you still gonna rot away. But man dies, wastes away. He giveth up the ghost, and where is he? Go ahead.
As the waters fell from the sea, and the flood decayeth and drieth up, so man lieth down, and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep.
So man lies down, he's not getting back up till the heavens be no more. And you're not gonna wake him up out of sleep. Because the Bible says the dead know nothing. All your thoughts are gone. Your memory is perished. Once you die, that's it. Go to Jeremiah 17. Dead people don't talk. Familiar spirits talk to you. But dead people don't. Jeremiah 17. So as it was in the days of Noah, business as usual. And the Lord brought that flood on them, killed them. Didn't even see it coming. Thought it was just some regular old rain like it always been. But this rain never stopped. Jeremiah 17, verse 9. Okay, read.
The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked.
So the heart, which is what? None other than the mind. The mind is what? Desperately wicked and deceitful. Who can know it? The Lord knows it. He knows exactly what you're thinking. Go ahead.
I, the Lord, search the reins. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
So I, the Lord, look at your mind. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your thoughts. And I'm going to reward you according to what you're thinking. Because you have to think about something first before you do it. It all starts here. And if you're thinking wicked continually, then you're going to produce wicked actions. And the Lord is going to get you for it. Let's go to Luke 17. So the heart is deceitful. And that's none other than the mind. Everybody in here got a mind? just like Frankenstein. What happened to Frankenstein when they gave him a wicked mind, didn't he? He had the good brain, but he got spooked and dropped it. And he grabbed that wicked brain. And when he put it in Frankenstein, Frankenstein went on a killing spree. Because he was wicked. He had a wicked mind. And he was drinking and smoking. But anyway, that's it. Luke 17. And pick it up at verse 28. So likewise in the days of Noah, let's see what happened with Lot. Go ahead.
Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they built.
So likewise also, in the days of Lot. Lot lived in Sodom and Gomorrah. And what did they do? They was eating, drinking, buying, selling, planting, building, and doing other things too, which we gonna read. Go ahead.
But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
So the same day they left, the Lord took them out. The same day. But it was business as usual. They didn't think nothing of it. They had been doing this wickedness for so long. You know, the Lord ain't looking at us. We having a good time. But then it started raining. And it wasn't water either. This was fire coming from the sky, burning them up. Let's go to
Verse
2
30.
Peter. What was that?
Verse 30.
Yeah, verse 30. Read that.
Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed.
Even though when Jesus come back, when he's revealed, it's going to be business as usual. The world ain't expecting it. We're going to read that. They're not expecting the Lord to come back. That's why they're doing the things they're doing now, passing all these laws, saying it's okay to act a fool. But it's not. The Lord is going to pass judgment on this earth. 2 Peter 2. So now we're dealing with the days of Lot. Destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. They was having a good old time. Dude went up in that club, killed 50 people. They was having a good old time. Wasn't even expecting it. But that was the hand of the Lord, whether people want to attribute that to him or not. The Lord run it all. He told that dude, go in there, take him out. Get him. 2 Peter 2 and 6, read it.
And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemning them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly.
So Sodom and Gomorrah was an example. He burned that place up to the point to where wherever that site is, nothing can grow there.
For real.
The Lord made sure. Now that's some serious wickedness right there. Now, I don't know, the Lord, they say, he don't waste sin. Some sin worse than others. Well, I know this one is bad. Right up there with idolatry. Probably two of the worst sins the Lord can't stand. This one and idolatry. But keep reading.
Verse 7. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For that righteous man, dwelling among them and seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds.
Just like today. Just like today. Can't stand it, man. It's everywhere. It's even in the cartoons. They had this one dude on the radio. He was being interviewed. He was just blasting, sodomites for saying they trying to get to the kids. Showing the kids, openly gay characters. What do openly gay characters have to do with some cartoons if you're not trying to get to the children? I said it a long time ago. They want these kids. They have already redefined marriage to include everything that's, pretty soon they're going to throw animals in there. And that's a marriage too. I just saw on the news the other day. Now the main focus is the transgenders now. Okay, they didn't already got the the sodomy male. And now they're focusing on the dude that's turned himself into a woman. In the military, they will pay for your operation.
Oh, wow.
This was on the news.
Wow.
God is my witness. They will pay for your operation. And once you get your operation, now Mr. Man who turned himself into a woman, you can hang out with the women in the military. Sleep in the same barracks.
Whoa.
Take showers with them. But this is what we're coming to. This is the world today. Sickness.
Wow.
And they want our kids, I'm telling you. They want the children real bad. Keep reading.
Verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities, whereas angels which are greater in power and might bring not railing accusation against them before the Lord.
Go ahead.
But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they count it pleasure to ride in the daytime. Spots they are, and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you.
That's right. Go ahead.
Having eyes full of adultery that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, and in heart they have exercised with covetous practices cursed children, which have forsaken the right way, and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam the son of Bosor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass speaking with a man's voice forbade the madness of the prophet.
Okay, that's good on that. Which have forsaken the right way and gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Bosor, who loved what? The wages of unrighteousness. He loved the wages of unrighteousness. Let's go to Jude 1. Jude, it's one little chapter, little bitty book before Revelation. Flip right over. Jude 1. The Lord had to take Balaam's donkey and make him talk. Told him, man, you about to get killed, dude. Jude 1. So this is an example. Sodom and Gomorrah was an example for us. And apparently the world is not taking that example. They're going totally opposite. They're telling you it's okay. Jude 1 verse 7, go ahead.
Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication, and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
How come don't nobody read this? Nobody wants to read this. That's an example. Sodom and Gomorrah, the cities in the like manner, giving themselves over to what? Fornication. And going after strange flesh, are set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Go ahead, verse 8.
Likewise, also, these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities.
Okay, let's go to Genesis 18. Let's look at this. Because they talked about a lot in the New Testament. Sodom and Gomorrah in the New Testament. They must have been doing some really strange stuff. Horrible stuff. Let's see what the Lord said. Genesis 18. And pick it up at verse 20. Genesis 18 and 20. Okay, read.
And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
So wait a minute now. The Lord said the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and their sin is very grievous. Not only were they sinning, but this sinning was very grievous. We're going to read what the definition is. Go ahead.
I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know.
So the Lord said, look, I'm going to go down and check this out. Because these cats, they doing, I've been hearing about some stuff they're doing. Let me go down there and see if they really doing this. Now let's look at grievous. Read the definition of grievous.
Merriam-Webster's definition of grievous: causing great sadness.
So it wasn't sad, that's another definition. Grievous is sadness. But that's not the one we want. This is a sin that's very grievous. So this ain't no great sad sin. Nuh-uh. Go ahead.
Suffering or pain.
Suffering or pain. Well, then we ain't talking about that either. Grievous is suffering and pain, but we talking about a sin. What? Go ahead.
Very serious or severe.
Very serious or severe. That's the sin part of right there. This is a very serious and severe sin. Very grievous, the Lord said. So you got very as an adverb modifying grievous, which is letting you know this is real serious. Right. And let's see what these cats was doing. Go to Genesis 19. We know the story. No, let's come back. Genesis 19. So this is that very grievous sin that they were doing to Sodom and Gomorrah, which made the Lord kill them, burn them up, set them on fire. Water was too good for these cats. You got to burn them up to make sure nothing is left. 19:1, go ahead.
And there came two angels to Sodom at even. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet. And ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round about, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
So they were sitting in the street, Lot saw them, said, look, come on in the house, man. You don't want to be out in these streets. You really don't want to be out here at this time of night. So he brought them in his house, made them something to eat. But before they could get down to get a good night's sleep, here come the men of the city, old and young. Old and young. Go ahead.
5. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
So he told them, where those men at? Bring them out so we can know them. And they ain't talking about shaking hands. None of that. No, in the biblical sense, means to sleep with. This was the sin that was very grievous to the Lord, because it is totally unnatural. Mm-hmm. That's not the way the Lord made man to do with other men. He didn't do that. He created man and woman. So this is a very grievous sin. They wanted to know these cats. Go ahead.
6. And Lot went out of the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
So we know what wicked is. Morally bad. Evil. So this is an evil act that they wanted to do to these men, which were angels, but they didn't know.
Right.
All they saw was some good-looking cats going to Lot's house. Mm-hmm. They wanted to know him. Go ahead.
Behold now, I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
So he offered his daughters. But that was an insult. That's an insult. They didn't want no women. They wanted some men. So don't insult my intelligence, dude. You know what I'm here for. Go ahead.
And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge now. We will deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot.
So after they got insulted by Lot, they said, look, man, we gonna deal with you worse than we was gonna deal with them.
Man.
And he told them straight up, look, we tried this the easy way. All you had to do was give up the man. But now you want the hard way. Keep reading.
And came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door.
Now they was gonna break the door down. You see the mentality was going on? It wasn't no lovey-dovey stuff now. They was on some gang rape mentality. And everybody in there was at risk. But go ahead.
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
So even when the angels smote them with blindness, that didn't matter. They still had that one mindset.
Man.
They was going to get them somebody even if they couldn't see them. This is the mentality. Look at them cats in that parade if you can stomach it. That ain't no joke. These dudes are serious. This is grievous in the eyes of the Lord. Go ahead.
12. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides, son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it.
So he told Lot, if you got anybody else, get up out of here, because we're going to destroy this place. And they did. Soon as Lot got to safety, fire and brimstone, boom, burned them up. Burned them to the ground. Go to Leviticus 18. So this ain't nothing new. This is happening today. This is happening today. And the Lord gonna burn it up. When he come back, he gonna burn it up. Because the whole world is at fault. Going along with this wickedness and other wickedness too. But they seem to be pushing this to the forefront more than anything else. Like it's in your face. And we ain't supposed to say nothing. Not the servants of God. We're going to read this book. Leviticus 18:1. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying,
Now this is the Lord. Remember them. I didn't write this. Did you write this? The Lord told Moses what? Go ahead.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, shall ye do not.
So don't do when you was in Egypt. You saw all that idolatry that was going on. Don't you do that. And what else?
And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances.
And when I bring you into this promised land, don't you do what they was doing. Do not do it. Go ahead.
Ye shall do my judgments, and keep mine ordinances, to walk therein. I am the Lord your God.
You're going to keep my judgments and my statutes. You're going to do this. Go ahead, verse 5.
Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which, if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
So if you keep these statutes and judgments and do them, you're going to live in them. I am the Lord. Let's see what some of the stuff they was doing. We ain't going to read it all. But they were sleeping with the mama, sleeping with the daddy, sisters sleeping with brothers, brothers sleeping with sisters, aunts and uncles sleeping together, nieces and nephews, nieces and uncles, whatever combination you can come up with, they was doing it. And this too, skip down to verse 22 and read it. 22.
Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination.
That's what the Lord said, right?
Yes, sir.
He topped it off with this. After he done went down to where you had aunt sleeping with nephew, uncle sleeping with niece, unlawful marriages between a man and a woman. This was the top of the list, right? He topped it off with this. Now, man, don't you sleep with another man. Just in case I missed that, don't sleep with another man is an abomination. Go ahead.
23. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion.
So after all the combinations was covered, and he got down to man sleeping with man, okay, don't you mess with no animals either. It's confusion. Go ahead.
Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things. For in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you.
So all the nations was doing this stuff, so the Lord cast them out. They were supposed to go in there and knock off all them nations. Because if you left any remnant of it, it was going to be a thorn in your side. And they was going to influence you. That's why the Lord told them, get in there and kill them all. You got to get rid of them. Cleanse the land. They defiling it. Get rid of them. Don't pass a law saying it's okay. Get rid of them. It used to be a felony to be out of the closet. Now it's okay. Probably got judges sitting up there. But anyway, keep reading.
25. The land is defiled. Therefore, I do visit the iniquity therefore upon it, and the land itself vomited out her inhabitants. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgment, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
So Israel wasn't supposed to do this stuff. And neither the stranger that was with them. The mixed multitude that came out with y'all ain't supposed to do this, man. Don't do this. But now what? We the poster child for it now.
Man.
I just seen that cat the other day on the lot. He wasn't in drag either. And I'm like, man, y'all know who it is. Yeah. Seen him.
Got that in the movie.
I'm like, man, dude. But anyway, I'm getting off track. Go ahead, keep reading.
27. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people.
And cut off means killed.
Yeah.
The Lord is serious, but man is playing. But the Lord gonna take care of it. We finished that?
No, sir.
Keep reading.
30. Therefore shall you keep mine ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am the Lord your God.
So all this stuff was an example to us. What not to do. Go to Judges 19. But Israel got in the land, they didn't do their job. They was like, man, we whipping these dudes like crazy. We ain't got to kill them all. Let's make them work for us. But that's not what the Lord told them to do. So because they disobeyed the Lord, he said, okay, they're going to be a thorn in your side. And it almost cost a whole tribe in Israel. That's why them Gibeonites, man, when they fooled Joshua, you know, he made a league with them. Now he's stuck. That's why I think they taught Benjamin sodomy, dude, I'm telling you. Because Benjamin was right there with him. And they came from the land. The Gibeonites was in the land. They were supposed to get killed. Because they was doing some of this stuff. That's what the book say. The nations in there was doing all this madness. And Israel got caught up in it. Judges 19, go ahead. Verse 1.
And it came to pass in those days, when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, which took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah.
So wasn't no king in Israel at this time. So it was a Levite. Took to him a concubine. Go ahead.
And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months.
So his concubine played on him, played the whore against him, and then she booked up and went to her daddy's house. Go ahead.
And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses, and she brought him into her father's house.
So now he really must have loved this woman, because he went after her and brought some stuff for the pops too. Go ahead.
And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. And his father-in-law, the damsel's father, retained him, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodge there.
So when the father-in-law saw him, he was happy, because he probably knew what his daughter was all about anyway. And he was happy somebody had to get her. So he was happy when this dude showed up. But go ahead.
And it came to pass on the 4th day, when they arose early in the morning, that he arose to depart, and the damsel's father said unto the son-in-law, comfort thine heart with a morsel of bread, and afterward go your way.
So he's steady trying to keep this dude here. He got him a good son-in-law. I need this dude here, man. You my guy. Can you stay a little longer? Go ahead.
And they sat down and did eat and drink, both of them together. For the damsel's father had said unto the man, Be content, I pray thee, and tarry all night, and let thine heart be merry. And when the man rose up to depart, his father-in-law urged him. Therefore he lodged there again.
He was pressing on this dude. Please don't go, man. Stay with me. Go ahead.
And he arose early in the morning on the 5th day to depart. And the damsel's father said, Comfort thy heart, I pray thee. And they tarried until afternoon. And they did eat both of them. And when the man rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, Behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray you, tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thine heart may be merry. And tomorrow get you early on your way, that you mayest go home.
So that was just a ploy, you know. The man was, every time the man was getting ready to go, Pops was give him some food and some drinks. Stay here and let's chill all night. And he was like, just stay tomorrow, just stay tonight, and then when you get up in the morning, you can leave tomorrow. But then when you get ready to leave, he's gonna try to do the same thing again. But the dude he had enough of this. Go ahead, verse 9. 10, I'm sorry.
But the man would not tarry that night, but he rose up and departed, and came over against Gibeah, which is Jerusalem, and there were with him 2 asses saddled. His concubine also was with him. And when they were by Gibeah, the day was far spent. And the servant said unto his master, Come, I pray thee, and let us turn into this city of the Jebusites and lodge in it. And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger that is not of the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah.
So his servant said, Look, we over here in Gibeah, man. Let's hang out here. And he's like, Nah, these people are strangers. We're going amongst our own people. He probably should have went over there with the strangers. Because when he got around his own people, we're going to see what they tried to do to him. Go ahead.
And he said unto his servant, Come, let us draw near to one of these places to lodge all night in Gibeah or Ramah. And they passed on and went their way. And the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah, which belongeth to Benjamin. And they turned aside thither to go in to lodge in Gibeah. And when they went in, he sat him down in the street of the city, for there was no man that took them into his house to lodging.
Just like them angels did, right? Going to the city, you sit down in the street, somebody come and get you. They know you're a stranger, but you're sitting down in the middle of the street. So somebody come get you, come on in, you know? So that's what he did. Verse 16, go ahead.
And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also a part of Mount Ephraim, and he sojourned in Gibeah. But the men of the place were Benjamites.
So this old dude came out and he seen him and said, Look, come on in, man. Relax. Let me give your donkey something to eat. You and your concubine, your servants, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to give you some food. Verse 22, go ahead.
Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about and beat at the door and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him.
Now here these cats coming beating on the dude's door. Give me that dude. Give him here so we can know him, just like we read in Sodom and Gomorrah. But these is Israelites doing this folly. Go ahead.
23. And the man, the master of the house, went out into them and said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into mine house, do not this folly.
So he told him the same thing Lot told him. This is folly, man. Don't do this wicked stuff. This man is under my roof. He's under my protection. I'm not going to allow you to do this. Go ahead.
Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you, but unto this man do not so vile a thing.
So this is a vile thing, according to the Lord, you know? Man sleeping with man is vile affection.
Mm-hmm.
It's not love,
Right.
which they want to portray. It's vile. And this is what we read out the book. He said, don't do this vile thing. I got a maiden. And here's his concubine, you know? Do what you want with them. Go ahead.
29? 29? Oh, 25, I'm sorry. But the men would not hearken to him.
They wasn't trying to hear it. You don't want no woman, man. What's wrong with you? Go ahead.
So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her and abused her all the night until the morning.
So he took his concubine, just shoved her out the door. And what did they do? They knew her and abused her. Abused her all night. Go ahead.
Until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go.
And when the sun came up, they let her go. These cats did some vile stuff to this woman all night. So they must have been the B in the LGBT, I guess. Because they wanted a man. And they were like, well, we can't take this woman. And it's vile, it's wicked. They killed the woman. Where we at?
29.
Skip down to 29 and read it.
And when he was come into his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine and divided her, together with her bones, into 12 pieces, and sent her into all the coast of Israel.
So when it was time for them to go, he told the woman, get up, let's go. But she was dead. So what did he do? He took the woman, he cut her up into 12 pieces and sent one to each tribe in Israel to get their attention of what's going on. That this stuff is vile and it's wicked and it shouldn't be happening. That's why the Lord took a wicked man and did this thing down in Florida to bring it to people's attention. Everybody don't go with this stuff.
Right.
Some people take it to the extreme, you know. They even had a dude, they was about to get this dude in Santa Monica. They arrested him. Yeah. He had an arsenal in his truck going down to the parade. Yeah. What was he gonna do? But they downplayed that. They tried to ask him about it on the news. But they were like, no, you know how they do it. Covered it up quick. This dude was going down to the parade to shoot up some people. But they stopped him. But sometimes, things happen. Just like this dude cut the woman up. Now, if you see an arm on your table, you're like, why is this here? This is going to get your attention. What happened? And he told him what happened. But let's go to Romans 1. Verse 30, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And it was so that all that saw it, and it was so that all that saw it, there was no such deed done, nor seen from that day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds.
So he told them, look, they had a leg and an arm in front of them. Something wicked happened. These Benjamites tried to get me, but they took my concubine and killed her. Now, here's a leg and an arm that I cut up and mailed it to you. Now, what y'all gonna do? And they tried to protect them. You can read the rest of it on your own. That's another lesson. But go to Romans 1. We're gonna start wrapping it up. Romans 1. Because we're dealing with the days a lot. The Lord gonna come back, it's gonna be business as usual. He's gonna take this world over. And they ain't gonna even see it coming. Or when they see it coming, it's gonna be too late. Romans 1 verse 25, read it.
Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
And that's what they're doing. They changed the truth of God into a lie. God said, man, don't sleep with man. Man say it's okay. Change the truth of God into a lie and serving what? The creature more than the Creator. They're trying to please the masses. Go ahead.
26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So because they served the creature more than the Creator, the Lord gave them up. He put the X on their back. Is this what you want to do? Go right ahead. And that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. The Lord is giving them up unto vile affection. Go ahead.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of a woman, burned in their lusts one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense for their error, which was meet.
So likewise the men, leaving the natural use of the woman. You got to be reprobate to do that.
Man.
all these women out here, and you want a man? What is your problem, dude?
Man.
You are just totally gone. The natural use of one burning lust one toward another. Men with men. Verse 28. Go ahead.
And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient.
So even though they didn't want to retain God in their knowledge, God said, okay, you go and reprobate, partner. I'm done with you. And when you go reprobate and God give it to you, ain't no coming back from that. You are done. It's just a matter of time before your number comes up and you get hit by a car, straight bullet, whatever the 1,000 ways to die is, you're going to be one of them. And let's look at vile. The book say vile affection, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see the definition of vile. Go ahead.
Morally despicable. Merriam-Webster's dictionary definition of vile. Morally despicable or abhorrent.
Morally despicable or abhorrent. It's like, oh, what else?
Physically repulsive.
Physically repulsive. If you in your right mind.
That's a good one.
And they show all these photos, these two men kissing on each other. You're like, what?
Man, come on.
Are you serious? Physically repulsive.
No doubt.
That's what vile means. Mm-hmm. And the Bible calls it vile affection. And this is the New Testament. And this is Paul. Let's go to Leviticus 20. Let's read it again. Leviticus 20. As in the days of Lot. Same thing is going on. Business as usual. Ain't nobody thinking about God. God is the furthest thing from people's mind, to the point to where if you try to even base your morals on the Bible, you better get ready to get strung up. Because the Bible has no basis nowadays in morality, because the world is immoral. The world is immoral right now. But the Lord got an answer for them. Leviticus 20, verse 13, one verse, read it.
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination, they shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them.
Now, I didn't write this. This is the Lord telling Moses this. So nothing has changed. We went from old to new, same thing. But it's business as usual now, right? Mm-hmm. The floodgates are open. I'm telling you what's next. It's going to be animals. It's going to be animals, I'm telling you. But let's go to Genesis 9. Let's look at this. After the Lord drowned everything, first the man was wicked. He was sorry he made man, he killed him. Except for Noah and his family. So now the Lord said, okay, I done did this. I'm not going to do it no more with water.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a sign to let you know that I'm not going to do this with water. Genesis 9 and verse 8, go ahead.
And God spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of every fowl, of the cattle, of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth, and I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there be any more flood to destroy the earth.
So this covenant is for man and the animals too. That he won't drown everybody. The whole world, I should say. We got isolated incidents, but we're talking about mass destruction on a worldwide scale. No more floods. Go ahead.
And God said, This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living thing of all flesh.
So the Lord said, look, I'm going to set a bow in the cloud. And it's going to be a token of the covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud, and I'm going to remember. I don't think the Lord got a memory problem, but you know, He's going to put that bow in the cloud just to make sure that He don't drown everybody. Go ahead.
And the water shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth.
So that's what the rainbow represents. It only happens when it's raining or after the rain. Mm-hmm. You can see it. And it's the covenant between man and the beast of all flesh, that the Lord won't drown everybody again. But what is it now? What does it mean now?
Wow.
You know, I mean, come on. Mm-hmm. They have taken something that the Lord established a covenant between the earth and have turned it into what? An abomination. Mm-hmm. And it's in the school system. They got this thing, you know, it's called character colors. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just setting them up. And it's all the colors of the rainbow. Each one of them represents a, you know, different character. But, and especially when you got a sodomite principle, that even, you know, enhances it. But I'm telling you, they're trying to get to the kids. They want them. Isaiah 24.
Verse 17.
Verse 17, I'm sorry.
And God said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth.
So that's what that rainbow represents. That's what we have to continue to teach our kids, because they're going to see a rainbow. And they're going to see it on somebody else.
Man.
That's right.
And you got to tell them, like, no, no, no. This is what the rainbow represents. And you take them to Genesis 9 and you read it to them.
That's right, brother.
Because these sides have taken this thing over and messing with our kids, man. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Isaiah 24. And this is the State of the Union right here. Isaiah 24, verse 5 and 6. Read.
The earth also was defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the cursed devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
So the earth is defiled under the inhabitants there because they've broken the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore the curse devoured the earth, and it's time to burn it up. Ain't gonna be no water this time. This is fire. 2 Peter chapter 3. Let's look at it. It's like I said, it's business as usual. Just like in the days of Noah and Lot, they marrying, giving in marriage, drinking, eating, partying. But party's gonna be over. Oops, and you out of time. 2 Peter 3. I bet he didn't see that coming.
Man.
But that's the new dope thing, you know, prescription drugs. 2 Peter 3, verse 9, go ahead.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that anyone should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
So the Lord ain't slack concerning his promise. If he say he gonna do something, he gonna do it. Not like man, man procrastinate, put off today, put off, what is it, put off today what you can do tomorrow, you know. The Lord say he gonna do this, he gonna do it. If he say he not gonna drown the world, he's not gonna drown it. If he say he gonna burn it, when they get back, you guarantee he gonna burn it up. Go ahead.
10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
So the earth also and the works, and its wicked works, they're going to be burned up. This is what we read. Go ahead.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye should be in all holy conversation and godliness?
So now we see all this is going to happen. What do we need to do? Keep ourselves together so we don't get caught up in this fire. And all manner of what? Holy conversation and godliness. Keep your garments white. 12, go ahead.
Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
So the Lord always talking about fire when he come back. The stars gonna fall, Revelation 6, let's look at it. Because when this happened, business as usual. You start cracking them seals open, the man on the white horse, got a crown. Then the guy on the second seal was the red horse. Everybody know it's always been wars and famines and, economy's always been messed up. But everybody recovers. But you ain't gonna recover this time. Because once them seals start opening up, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. But because they have you conditioned to think, the stock market crashes and then it gets back up. Housing market goes down when it comes back up. You lose your job, okay, you'll get another. It's going to be business as usual. But this stuff, when this start happening, it's going to get worse and worse. And when that sixth seal crack open, it's done. Let's read it, 6 and 12. Go ahead.
And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind.
So now they tell you, it's been meteorites, coming hit the earth. But when you see billions of them come down, because the book say the sky gonna look like it's on fire. Mm-hmm. They were like, oh, and this is gonna be worldwide. It ain't gonna be like over here in America. Yeah. It's gonna be worldwide. And the last glimpse you're going to see, because when they come through, they're going to knock all them satellites out. Mm-hmm. They're going to be like, man, then your phone going to go dead. And everybody going to be in a panic state. Yeah, pretty much. Who you going to call? You can't. Right. Nobody knows numbers no more. Huh. It's names. But anyway, keep reading. For 14. The Lord coming back. Go ahead.
And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb.
So this is going to come up on them, just like we read, as in the days of Noah, it was business as usual. Then the flood came, took them out. Just like Lot. In his days, business as usual. Once he got to the safe spot, fire came down, destroyed them. Go ahead.
For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
So it's going to be the same way when Jesus get back. It's going to be business as usual. Ain't nobody expecting this, because ain't nobody teaching this. They teaching you're going to be raptured off. But the raptured off people are going to be right here looking at this.
Man.
And it's going to be bad news. Go to Ecclesiastes 8. So we can see what's happening in the world. Everything is going about their own business, No problem. Everybody wake up, they go to work, get off work, come home, eat, drink, go to sleep, get up, go to work. Party Friday night, party Saturday night, go to church on Sunday, and start all over again. Business as usual. Ecclesiastes 8 and verse 11, read that.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Because sentence in an evil work is not, just because you don't get payback right away, because you do something evil. You thought you got away with something. So you continue to do it, but you didn't get away. You just got by for a minute. Because payback is at the end of the line. You can have a dude that's 80 years old, serial killer, live to be 80, die a good old age. And you got somebody that's 18, 19, they never did nothing wrong in their life, serve the Lord, dead. Where's the contrast in that? What's going on? Maybe the Lord took them for a reason. And the wicked man thinks he's continuing to get away with stuff. In the end, you're going to get busted, man. You're going to get caught, and the Lord going to kill you in your iniquity. So don't worry about these old sinners or these old wicked people that's, people ain't even keeping the law. Got all the money in the world. Could care less about this book. But that's not your problem. Verse 12, read it.
Though a sinner do an evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God.
So it won't be well with the wicked. His days won't be prolonged because it's just like a shadow. We just read in the Job, man, it's like grass. Mm-hmm. Here today, gone tomorrow. It gets cut down. It turns brown and you throw it away. But go to Psalm 10. I got 3 more places. I need me some lemons, man. My throat is gone. Psalm 10. Pick it up at verse 1. Psalm 10 and 1. Okay, read.
Why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth.
And that's what they do. It's business as usual. Nobody cares about the poor. They starve the poor and feed the rich. Yep. You got a man with $1 billion and somebody on the street won't even feed him. They'll give him something around Thanksgiving or Christmas. That's about it.
Right.
Won't even feed him. He got all the money. This cat ain't got none. And won't even feed him. But go ahead.
4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts.
God is not in the wicked's thoughts. That's why they don't care. When those skies roll back, instead of, repenting, they want to commit suicide. Go ahead.
His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor.
You're always thinking wicked devices. The thoughts of a man's heart is evil continually from his youth. Go ahead.
He lieth in wait secretly, as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it.
He think he's getting away. He is not getting away. He's only getting by. It's just a matter of time before your number is up. Let's go to Revelation 11. And let's look at the Lord coming back again. It's going to be a big surprise when them skies roll back. People ain't expecting that. But we know it's going to happen. What did I say, Revelation?
11.
Okay. Revelation 11, verse 15. Here comes Jesus. Go ahead.
And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever.
So here comes Jesus. He's coming to take the world over. I guarantee you when Jesus get back, won't be no same-sex marriage. Won't be none of these Christmas trees, these colored eggs and all this other foolishness. The Bible says from one noon to another and from one Sabbath to another. So all flesh come and worship before me. Mm-hmm. Not from Christmas to Easter. From one Sabbath to another. Go ahead. Skip down to verse 18. Let's see what the Lord gonna do when he get back.
And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints and them that fear thy name, small and great.
So everybody that live righteously, they gonna get their reward. At that seventh trumpet when the Lord come back. The dead that they should be judged, thou shouldest give reward unto the servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and what else? Go ahead.
And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
And gonna destroy them which destroy this earth. Which is mankind right now, destroying this earth, messing this world all up. The Lord say, harvest the land for 6 years, let it rest. Whatever's gonna grow, let it grow.
Preach.
Man don't want to do that. He want to pump the soil full of garbage. Mm-hmm. Why you think we got cancer running around here now? Mm-hmm. Pumping up the chickens, you know? Please. Don't mess with them chickens. But they doing it. They are doing it. Let's go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24.
Oh, man.
We're going to pick it up at verse 37. Matthew 24, verse 37. Okay, read.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and being given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So that's how Jesus' coming gonna be. It's gonna be on the world, business as usual. But then when them skies roll back, it's too late. It is too late. He coming to burn you up. Let's go to the last place. 1 Peter chapter 1. 1 Peter 1. Verse 24. Okay, read it.
For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. But the word of the Lord endureth forever. And this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you.
So flesh is like grass, and the glory of man is the flower of grass. The grass is withered and it's gone. The flower is gone too. But the word of the Lord endureth forever. And I hope you got some understanding in Jesus' name.